Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Let's get ready to be at our best now. Be at our best.
Yeah, it's going to be a boring one today.
Those guys don't all suck.
You son of a B!
ASAP, any score, any place, you know we bring well. We bout there. We'll pull up on anybody and get it done.
Suck it, Raiders.
He is dicked.
I love you, Dick, but
Joe, start fast.
They're the next team on our schedule, and we trying to do something big here. We trying to win a Super Bowl.
It's another beautiful day.
It is.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Bulldog.
What?
Sitting with two winning Duggan brothers, like him, Huggin' Duggan.
Oh my God, this energy! I love it.
And Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
Woo!
Woo!
Juice box guy's here too.
Hey, look at that.
Kevin the juice box guy.
Oh, man. Folks.
What?
Yeah, I mean, you heard it on the instant reaction, but we got ourselves a big fat win, and it feels so good. Mondays after a win. I mean, you've got some pep in your step. You've got all your Charger gear on because nobody can say shit to you because you won. We won. I don't care how it looked. We won. All right. We will go through and break down everything that happened in this last game, which there is always tons to talk about. But first, as we always do, let's take a look at the game summary because this was a shootout, folks. There was some pistols flying down out there on the field, and there was some bullet wounds to be had. Started out the game, Jacksonville going 3 and out, which we always like to see. We always like to keep our opponents to a 3 and out. That's beautiful. And the Chargers get it down the field, enough for Bashley to get himself a 35-yard field goal. Not a touchdown, but we'll take it. You know, we're up 3-0. Another 3 and out from Jacksonville gave Chargers a chance to get themselves another score from Mr. Joe Reed. Read him and weep, baby. Quarter ends with the Chargers up 9-0. Second quarter comes around with Herbert connecting with Donald Parham Jr., bringing the score up to 16-0. Parham, 2 catches in his career, both of them touchdowns. God bless you, you XFL player. Then we gave Jacksonville just an inch, and they took a fucking mile, getting themselves a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, bringing it up 16-8. Motherfucker. Later in the quarter, Jacksonville scores again, but they don't get the 2-point conversion. So we're looking at 16-14. And so it's okay. We're going in the half, 16-14. We're up by 2. We're still winning. We haven't given it up just totally yet. Then this third quarter comes around and rears its ugly mug. Starts with a punch in the gut with a blocked punt, run back for a touchdown. What the freaking hell? Scores out 21-16. But all hope is not lost, folks, because our quarterback is Justin Airbear, sea bass, son of a bitch, Herbert. Because he's going to throw not 1, but 2 touchdowns, 1 to Virgil Green, a deep-ass ball to Jalen Guyton, and you know what? For good measure, he's going to rush one in on his own. Chargers are up 36-20-9, and fourth quarter only saw a little bit of icing on the cake with Badgley getting himself a field goal, ending the game 39-29, double digits, 2 scores. Hallelujah! It's a win, baby.
We did it.
It's a win.
That was really good, Adam. Thank you for that.
The energy is so much more different when we have a win. Like, we're shamelessly positive. So every week
doing this.
I know we try to make it fun every episode, but like when you actually win,
we're not faking
I'm not
it
faking
this time.
baby. This is fun. We should do this more often. Oh,
I'm not faking it, baby.
It's
last night, maybe. This morning, definitely not.
Yeah, it was a great game. Justin Herbert just playing out of his freaking mind. It's you know, I think he's going to get Rookie of the Week again. I think we're going for 4 right now. I think he's got 3. We're going for 4.
It's hard not to, man.
Well, he got 3 without getting a win, so I think the icing on top of a W.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns, 300 and something insane yards, and
400 total.
Yeah.
Because I mean that
another 60 yards running.
Yeah, that first
that's
quarter
crazy.
Saw that 31-yard run, which was what, the longest than a Charger
since 1980.
Carl Malone or whatever the guy's name was.
Yeah, Carl Malone.
88.
It was a pretty beautiful thing. So it's been a rough first start of the year, but finally week 7, folks, we see our second win. And God bless that bye week, because clearly we needed it to get some of those players back on the field so we can start this win train going. We've got one down.
Man, how different did that defense look with Melvin Ingram in there?
Dude, that whole first quarter was insane.
Yeah, you don't notice how much of an impact that he has on. And it's not only just his ability to rash the passer.
But good one, Juicebox guy.
Like, honestly, it looks like his energy spills over into the other players. Like Joey, who's been kind of hurt and like not moping, but like definitely not the energy he usually plays with, was back up big time this week.
Yeah. He was like carrying the team on the shoulders. I mean, and that's got that takes a lot out of you. So to get somebody like Melvin back in to take some of that weight off makes a world of difference. Clearly,
it's huge. Yeah, that was awesome.
I think this is big for Mel and me just wanting to re-sign him really bad. I don't know if that's possible with how much we have allocated, but you could see with and without him. And I like having him.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of having him. It's a big deal. There was just the defense just played crazy in the first quarter. There was some stats that the announcers were saying, like Chargers had like 13 first downs and Jacksonville had 14 yards. Yeah. It was
Minshew was -6 yards passing in the first quarter.
Yeah, there was 3 sacks, I think, in the first quarter. It was crazy to see our defense play so well. And seriously, once Jacksonville just made one like 10 or 15 yard pass, whatever it was, like all of a sudden things just started to crumble, like defensively. Like I don't understand the tackling situation for this team. It bugs the shit out of me when I just see guys going to make a tackle and they get their hands on the guy, but that's all they do. They just give him like a little pat down, like he's going through TSA, and they're like, all right, you're good to go. And they let him run in for a touchdown or something like that.
Casey Hayward was definitely a TSA agent on this game. He
kind of soft, a little scary.
That was really bad. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but I was surprised that they were able to run that way on us in that second quarter. That was kind of surprising. I can't really figure out why. I can't. I went back and looked at it. I'm just not seeing it.
Well, and it was on both sides of the ball too. Defensively, we were struggling, and offensively, I love Justin Herbert, but for whatever reason, there was a few missed passes. I don't know if Herbert was not throwing it where it needed to be, or the wide receivers weren't running the routes that they needed to run and be in the position they needed to be. Yeah. But there was some clear miscommunication going on in that second quarter, and so it just compounded. Like if Herbert kept playing well, I mean, it would have been 50-29 as opposed to 39-29, but there was some miscommunication. So it's still a win. It's still double digits. It's still 2 scores like that. We needed to do that. It's just unfortunate that we let Jacksonville get as many points as they did, because we really defensively should have shut these guys out.
I think, I was talking about it last episode where it was like, I wanted this to be a blowout, but I also wanted us to have to show some resiliency and have Herbert go and do what he did. Like that's character building. And I think that's good. So I think that we got a little bit of both. We had a 2-score game that shouldn't have even been that. That block punt was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We'll get into that later, but that was ridiculous. So I think, this game is Herbert's game for me. And I think a lot of people around the league are also seeing that and saying that. Like Richard Sherman went on Twitter and said, this man Herbert throws some dimes, not even watching their game, but every highlight is a dime by the kid. Sheesh. So, even players in the league are talking about him now too.
It's not the same team blowing smoke. That's a Pro Bowl corner from another team. Like, just holy cow, what's going on with this guy?
Right.
Yeah. So it's just impressive. And it's like each week it's like, okay, so when are we going to hit that ceiling? Like, when are we going to see what, where he tops out at? And I don't know. I don't know how you can get much better than this game, but
he did.
Maybe he can do more.
Like Adam said, like there was just for some reason, our team, when the offense decides to stop playing, so does the defense. It just goes all in one. So like all of a sudden they complete a couple of balls, they score a touchdown, and then we go 3 and out. And it's just like having that ability to change the momentum. And I'm going to get into it a little bit in the coach's corner, but that's the only thing and that's not on a stat sheet. From looking at a stat sheet, it is hard to do much better than he did. There was just a couple of balls that are an inch overthrown that ball didn't get caught.
But this is like nitpicky stuff.
100%,
Like we don't really have anything to like be upset about.
No,
with him at all.
No one's
crazy.
upset about it.
No.
That's just the only things that he could improve on.
But isn't that a blessing that we are like nitpicking an inch missed pass?
Right.
Like that's where we're at with our quarterback situation right now.
Yeah, as far as the quarterback is concerned, absolutely. I mean, the guy's a rookie, so you always kind of give him that benefit of the doubt for being a rookie, and when mistakes happen, they happen. I mean, the guy wasn't planning on being in this position at this point in the timeline of this season, so the fact that we have him is amazing. But if we want to nitpick, Mr. Badgley, sir, what would you say your job is here at the Los Angeles Chargers?
I would say my job is to kick field goals, because that's the only thing I'm on this team to do.
Then why don't you do it?
I don't know, man. It's crazy. You know, they basically coach said in his, I don't know if it was like post-game presser or this morning, Monday morning, he said that they're not bringing in any kickers this week. You know, according to Anthony Lynn, coaching staff still has confidence in Michael Badgley. You kind of have to look at it.
Well,
like
that's one person that has confidence in him.
I'm really bummed out. You know, if you miss over 40, that sucks. But missing extra points, you can't do that shit.
Yeah.
It just is unacceptable. You can't do that, Badgley.
Well, especially the week after you missed the game winner at the last. Like it's not just a one-off thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So if you look around the league, and here's the positive take is like, there really isn't anyone available that you would want to give up for him. Like, I think he's still kicking 78% or something like that is his, you know, what he's making. And the people that are available are not hitting even close to that. You know, they're in the 60s. There's a reason they're not on these teams. So I think, you know, we let him figure it out. There's nothing else we can do. I just need to, you know, maybe we won't be going, like I said in the beginning of the season, we weren't kicking from 50. We weren't doing that.
There's a reason why, maybe.
Clearly, there's something going on there, and you know, can we just have Carney back? Can we just go in a time machine, pull him back?
I want the Money Badger to be money again. Like I like him. Like the interviews I hear, and like his podcast is awesome. I like the guy.
I know he's great. He's
want him to be just get it together and make some of these.
Get it together.
I just have zero patience for fucking kickers, man. I just have zero patience, you know?
Oh yeah,
well,
juice box.
It's concerning that the issues calm down. It's just concerning that the issues that we have are back to being special teams. Like this was an issue that's been a problem for the Chargers, not necessarily in recent years, but if you go back, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, like special teams has always been a problem. So to get a punt block, to be missing field goals in back-to-back games, extra points in back-to-back games, like what do we do? Like
here's the thing. I listened to an Anthony Lynn interview today that he did. Our special teams got overhauled drastically with a lot of departures on our team. Adrian Phillips leaves, Jatavis Brown leaves, Tranquil gets hurt, Watt's gone, who's a Pro Bowl special teamer. It's like that's 4 of your 11, and they were on every single special team. So you get a complete overhaul, and then you don't have any preseason games to really get live reps with because that's like one of the biggest things for preseason is your young guys to get reps.
Absolutely.
So you're putting Gabe Neighbors, a fullback that probably never played special teams in college, and expecting him to go be a NFL special teamer. So it's kind of a tough season to be in the midst of a special teams overhaul. That's not an excuse for what happened on Sunday. That guy came up the middle completely untouched. But that's just the reality of the league right now and adjusting special teams and just not being at top notch. And then, although Kevin, I was thinking about your point with the Money Badger.
Are we playing horse?
What if you just go with Ty Long?
We did it last season,
and he was pretty successful.
Maybe maybe Ty Long does field goals and
he does everything else. He does punts and kickoffs.
Maybe he does field goals, and we only have Badgley kick between the 25 and the 38, and then that's where he does all of his work.
Not even PATs. No, he's off. He's off, and they're going to bring Quentin Meeks on the roster. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
we just need that one spot for
some
Q.
room.
Yeah.
It'll be the open kicker competition. People come off the street and go kick field goals. I don't think he's that bad. I think I'm just pissed off at him.
What is it? The garbage picking field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon. Remember that?
yeah. That's,
We get one of those
I don't know if we're there yet, but if this keeps happening, it just deflates those drives when Herbert looks amazing and it's nails.
Yeah.
And then it's like, poof.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome touchdown drive. And then poof, there goes the momentum.
Poof.
Right. Right. There's a lack of confidence in those kicks. We want him to get it back. Like we're nitpicking and we're griping, but we want him to do good.
I'd like him. I want him to just pull his head out.
So I just want to clarify. Like we're not trying to hate on Mr. Batchley.
No, he's probably hating on himself as much as
he's the coolest
as we
kicker
are.
in the NFL by far.
By far.
He's like I said in the instant reaction, he's playing a game of horse with me.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's BAD he's got his G. He's got to earn it back.
Right.
He's got to earn it back for me because I have very little trust in him right now, and it sucks.
It does. So hopefully we won't necessarily need to be in that situation or rely on the special teams every week. I mean, it always seems to happen, but hopefully we can just let Herbert keep being Herbert and throwing these dimes, throwing these lasers, running, galloping, being the lead rusher on the team. Like, how does that happen?
Kidding me?
I mean, clearly we need to get Eckler back too. Joshua
and
Kelly,
Bulaga. Everyone needs to remember we need Bulaga and we need Turner back. That is going to be a game changer.
My bold prediction. 0 for 2.
You failed out of the gate.
Gee,
yeah, you blew it.
The game
hard.
didn't even start, and you already blew it.
Yeah, you're blowing it before the game even started. Hey, I was right though. 4 TDs for our boy Herbs. I was wrong on the score, but I got the 4 TDs.
That's true. You get a half a point. You get a half a point.
Yeah.
I don't have Herbert be our leading rusher kind of is not a good look, I guess, but he didn't fall on his face like Daniel Jones did in primetime football. So
This is true.
This
is true.
Plays.
Yeah. And it was 2 big runs. It makes it sound like he was running every play. Like, no, he wasn't. And Kelly looked good. Kelly was spinning. He was making moves. He was getting extra yardage after contact. Like, Kelly looked better this game.
He did.
So,
his confidence is coming back.
He's not, you just got to get that fumble gene out of him.
Yep.
And I think he's kind of moving on.
Kelly looked good. Justin Jackson looked good being there to catch the passes from Herbert real quick and make something of it. I just know that
Pope
Eckler
came
would
in
be
a
able
little
to do it
bit.
better.
He was
Troy
solid.
Maine had a decent
Troy
run.
Maine.
I just don't think we have a whole lot of
teams.
faith in our running game without Trey Turner and Bulaga, Iowa.
Yeah.
It's just like
next week.
Without them, I just don't think we have a lot of, even with a head coach that's such a heavy run game guy, we just don't have the faith in it that we need to commit to it. Because even this game, everyone's run, pass. We were passing on first down majority of the time, it felt like.
We totally changed it up this week. This was not the run pass we've had up to this point. It was giving Herbert more opportunities at what everyone was calling for, and it worked. It kept the defense, made them stay honest,
Absolutely. It was a great game to be had. Pluses and minuses all around. And thoughts and prayers to Virgil Green. It was a hell of a touchdown catch that he made, but boy, that ankle shouldn't have bent that way. And I hate that they showed it twice. Like, it was like, oh, come on, don't do that again.
And if you want to jump into that, like him, he didn't break his ankle. It looked like a full on break to me, but it was just he suffered a lateral ankle sprain, and the X-rays were negative, but Green will miss several weeks. He should return later this season, according to Ian Rappaport. So that's promising, at least.
Absolutely promising. And who's going to step up to the plate to get just more touchdowns for every catch? That's Mr. Donald Parham.
Yeah, he's going to have to
step up. Keep the streak going, baby.
Every catch is a touchdown.
Every catch is a touchdown. That would be
amazing. Oh, man. Yeah. He's just so, it's crazy.
So let's see. There was some stuff from Herbert at the end of the game. Was there some sound bites? What did Herbert have to say after the game?
We went and pulled out some clips of Herbert talking, and let's have a listen.
We really believe in each other. That locker room, it's tight, and those guys in there, they take care of each other, and kind of like I said earlier, we're not going to point fingers, we're not going to blame each other, we're going to stick together. And yeah, it got a little dicey out there when they blocked that punt and we got down, but we never got down on ourselves. We knew that we were going to go back out there the next drive, the next play, take care of business, and good things like that will happen.
That's like a movie quote right there. We got down.
He's saying everything you want to hear.
Down on ourselves.
Yeah.
Now let's put the women and children in bed and go looking for dinner.
Yeah. So
Right. Yeah.
the only thing I obviously his performance on the field is incredible, but his interviews are a little monotone. It's not a Phillip Rivers full of emotion. I'm going to shoot from the hip. You're going to hear my emotions. He's very professional. And I think that's like an Oregon thing. Like he has had enough media in his face. He knows like, I'm just going to give me your question. I'm going to give you the correct answer that you want to hear. It's not a bad thing at all.
It was like a 4.2 GPA. So he has the correct answer.
Right. No. So he has the right answer. And that was an awesome answer. But that just from listening to that, it's just like, I don't know. There's not like an emotion and like,
right.
Type of thing.
Well, I kind of thought about this earlier where looking at the situation that we have with Justin Herbert as a rookie quarterback playing as well as he is, and comparatively to other rookie quarterbacks where we've seen a lot of like off the field issues, you look at like a Johnny Manziel and just how thankful to have a quarterback who can be.
Yeah.
I don't care that he's monotone. I'm just glad that he's not like blowing money and
being an idiot,
snorting coke and getting hung over. Like I'm okay with the squeaky clean quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
A great parallel is Haskins, because I heard the main reason why he was benched in Washington is because they lost the game and he was bragging that he threw out 300 yards. Or he was bragging about personal accolades, and that's not our guy.
No,
our guy's not going to do that. So he's doing everything right, man. You kind of waiting to see what. I don't want anything negative to happen, but
I don't think
this
anything
too good
will.
to be true.
No, and
I
think after his rookie year, going into his third, fourth, fifth year, you'll get a little bit more of that. Like you'll get a little bit more of emotion and who he is. Right now, he's a rookie, man. He's still figuring it out. So. Yeah, I didn't mean that in a negative way at all. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Is like normally when you hear a Phil interview, it's just it has like he just shoots from the hip and he knows what his emotion and that's what he says. So that's all. I wasn't saying it's bad in any way.
No, not at all. And I didn't mean to make it sound like that. It was truly a thought that I had earlier. Just like, man, how thankful I am that we don't have a quarterback rookie that is just a total immature piece of crap. Like. He's a baller. He's playing his brains out and he's a totally mature dude that can command the locker room and get the confidence of these guys. Like there's no doubt in my mind that this guy's going to stick around for as long as we can hold on to him because of just how good he's playing out of the gates. So I am anxious to see what Herbert's going to look like 10 years down the line, when he's got that camaraderie with all the other players, when he's been around for a while. Maybe he gets a little bit more emotional like Phillip Rivers. Maybe he starts drawing back at some of the other players and shooting back at him. Like I'm excited to see that. Or is he just going to be totally calm, cool, and collected his whole career? Remains to be seen. But I'm
as long as he throws for 370, 4 touchdowns and runs for 6,
do whatever you
want.
Yeah. Seriously. Well, and it was kind of interesting too. There's, there was a audio bite we just pulled where Daniel Popper of The Athletic asked Coach about Herbert, and it was a very interesting way he phrased this question, and I wanted to put it up there because it was we'll see what you think. Hold tight. Let me go dig it up.
Questions.
Daniel Popper.
Hey, Anthony, you've been reluctant to praise Justin over these first 4 starts just because you haven't been winning games. You won today, so I'd like to give you the opportunity to praise your rookie quarterback after he put up.
You don't know what the hell I do when I'm talking to my quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? I may praise them, when we having one-on-ones or whatever, but after games and press conferences, no, I haven't praised anybody in the last 4 weeks because we haven't won. I haven't praised myself. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. It's never good enough, but yeah, we won. He got his first victory today, and I'm so happy for him that he got his first win. But we needed that win as a team. I'm happy for the team right now. He was a major contributor today in us getting that done. He stood in there when he knew he was going to be hit, and he delivered the ball in some critical situations. He took off. He created with his feet when things wasn't happening in the air, and he extended drives that way. And he showed that he has that versatility to hurt you with his legs and with his arm.
Coach dropping it, dude.
What kind of so good?
What kind of question was that?
I'm gonna give Popper.
I like him. He does good stuff. And he has the best articles, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to praise your quarterback now that he won. He's like, what the fuck are you saying?
So
yeah, that's
what?
awesome.
I'm going to give Dan Popper the benefit of the doubt because he's kind of new, being I guess a bit of a beat writer for the Chargers. At least he's certainly popped up recently.
No pun intended, or pun intended.
No pun intended. No pun intended. Dan Popper.
The pun is always intended with Wooldog.
Always.
I feel like he was trying. Because I mean, he's for the Chargers. He's writing for the Chargers. I feel like he was trying to softball that in, but he absolutely did not word that correctly. Like, you don't say
no.
You failed to.
You failed at propping up your quarterback. I am personally going to give you the opportunity right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this opportunity.
Who is he to give Coach Lynn the stage to now praise your quarterback?
Exactly.
That's obnoxious.
I like Popper, though. I do like him.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because he could have just said, like, hey, man, how much do you love Justin Herbert?
Right.
And Anthony Lynn could have been like, I love him. He played really well today, but we won as a team.
Yeah.
He could have had a very similar answer, but to go like, you haven't really praised him. Like, you don't know what the fuck I say behind closed doors, motherfucker.
I love it.
Awesome.
But this is why I like Anthony Lynn, though. This is, everyone's still like on this, like, we got to get rid of our coaches, get rid of our coaches. Like, this is the kind of coach I would want if I were a player. Like, not everyone needs to get a participation trophy after every fucking game.
Absolutely.
This isn't how you build these teams, you know? I don't know. I'm not an NFL coach. That's kind of a stretch for me to say that, but
no, but it's just that much more of, we don't know what's going on between the coach and the players. We don't know what's going on with their little injuries as to why they're not doing this or that. We don't know the relationship that they have. So stop deciding that because you saw a tweet from a beat writer that obviously pissed off the coach.
Well, and it's like we all watched Hard Knocks. We all remember walking out of that being like, wow, this is like the player's coach, and he's just great. And I think him getting a little fired up and pissed off at that question reinforced how I feel about it. And we get a little shade thrown at us for being pro Lynn, but I'm just got to be honest with myself. Like, I know I like him. That's just
I'll take that shade all day, because if I was a Jets fan right now, I would be crying and pissed off and picketing at the front of their office, because that coach is a joke. I don't care. Honestly, like, no matter what the record is, I believe in Coach Lynn as a leader of men. And that's 100%. Just the truth. Like, his job is to win games. So if he doesn't win, he's not going to be the coach. But until he does, he took us to the playoffs in his first couple of years. He's rebuilding. And our guys never quit. Like, it's never a game where they would just give up and it's done for and it's over. Sometimes we don't perform, and that's not always on the coach.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree.
Just because the rest of the fan base of the Chargers is celebrating that we have Justin Herbert and praising everything that he does, doesn't necessarily mean that the coach needs to do that. Like, the coach is there to coach. He's got a job to do, and he's got to get this entire team to win. And inside deep, he might be totally happy that we have this quarterback. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's absolutely elated that we don't have to worry about that position, but you can't expect him to be a fangirl in these interviews going like, oh boy, he played so good. I'm just so happy to have Justin Herbert. Oh boy.
Where is Coach Lynn from?
What,
Looney Tunes?
Yeah. When did he turn into a cartoon?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
that's what he's not going to be. That's not what he's
not going to be. That he's going to be. He's going to be real. He's going to be honest, and
he's not Bugs Bunny.
He's not Bugs Bunny, my friend. So it's that's awesome. Good for Coach. And Dan Popper, we love you. You just gotta
maybe
word your questions a little bit better.
That was questionable.
A little better.
Stop trying to be so flourishy with your words. Excellent. Well, do you guys have anything else about the game that you want to touch on before we turn it over to the coach?
That's what I want to turn it over, because I want to hear more about what we need to do.
All right.
To be better and not let the Jaguars get 29 points.
I'd like that answer as well. Let's turn it over to the coach to shine some light on what we cannot see.
That was profound.
I feel like we need like an intro song for me.
A WWE so you can walk down and
something, because like every time you kick it,
I don't think we need to blow your ego up any more than it already is. So no music for you right now.
Get on it. Work on it.
Calm down, Coach. Calm down.
So there's three different kind of situations that we're going to look at. The first one is the Easton stick package that
Yeah.
our group chat
Where did
just
that
blew
come
up.
from?
Yeah, we were like,
So did Twitter.
What's
Twitter
happening? What's going
exploded.
on? Yeah. Because you see Justin Herbert standing by coach as if he's like ready to go back in. But Easton is out there, which we've gone out of our way in past weeks to make sure that he doesn't play. Like Justin got hurt and we're like, all right, timeout. Get Justin back in there.
Blow
Don't
that
actually run the
timeout.
play.
Right.
You know, so it's like, what's happening here? So as I was watching the game, I was like, okay, there's 3 possibilities that for this happening. Is one, there's a whole package and playbook that's only Easton sticks, and he practices it, and he gets a segment during practice that they run these plays. 2, they just want to put more stuff on tape so that other teams have to prepare for it, right? You keep the Jaguars off like, whoa, what are they doing? Whoa, kind of like all of us were. And you put stuff on film so that upcoming opponents they at least have to spend some time preparing for it. Or third, and least likely, they're trying to increase his value and the trade market for him, possibly. With people going down left and right, and the Cowboys with sewer dwellers at back there at quarterback. You're trying to at least put some tape out there. Like those are, in my head, those were the 3 possibilities of what they were doing. And so like, I was like, okay, if they have their own playbook, that would make sense. Like if he has some weird plays that they're going to come out and run. So I wanted to look at he only ran 2 plays. And so the first play that they ran was a play action naked boot. So, play action, in case you don't know, means you're going to fake run, and you fake run to try to bring the linebackers up. And then you pull it. You don't actually hand it off. You take it, and then you try to find someone that's open. The naked boot part of it is you don't block the end. And you're hoping that run fake draws the end down, and then he can just get to the edge on his own, being an athlete, which Easton Stick is. So they ran a play action naked boot, fakes the run to Josh Kelly, tries to roll out. That end didn't really bite very much, so he was kind of in his face. Easton got the ball out really quick. In all honesty, it kind of looked like he was a little jittery. Rightfully so. He hasn't played in an NFL game this year with no preseason games. That was his first snap of the year. He kind of just tossed it out there. We gained a couple of yards on a little short pass. That play is in our playbook. That's a normal play that Justin would run. So that was adding to the confusion I think everyone was having. Was like, wait, this isn't a weird formation. That's not a very weird play. You have all the normal personnel in. So it didn't really add to an element of like, oh man, other teams are going to have to prepare for this. Play 2 is just an inside zone read option. That's like our base play. It's what Justin kept and ran for 33 yards on. Is he's going to ride the running back, act like he's handing the ball off, and then he can either give it or keep it based on what the defensive end or linebacker does. If they crash real hard, like they're going to tackle the running back, he'll keep it and run to the outside. And he kept it and run to the outside, and he wasn't able to outrun the outside linebacker, and he got tackled for a negative 2-yard loss. So also in our playbook. So it was just, I still don't really understand. In the press conference after the game, Lynn said, yeah, we just wanted to throw stuff at the Jaguars to keep them off their, keep them on their heels. And so they didn't really know what to expect. That those 2 play calls don't really make sense. Like they're fine play calls. I'm not upset with the play calls, but it doesn't do anything to have him in there instead of Justin. They both can run that same exact play. It's not like it's Taysom Hill on the Saints where you bring him in and it's just run heavy. You never know, fly sweeps, motions everywhere, triple options. Like that wasn't the case. It was just our normal playbook. So I'm still kind of scratching my head even after a press conference as to what that was about. Really, what did you guys think when you saw Easton Stick come out there?
I thought he was hurt. I thought something happened to Herbert.
Right.
I was like, what the hell is going on? That was my first impression. And then they cut to him. He's on the sideline and
standing,
looking normal.
Right.
And then it was just like, what is going on? And it was that same thing that you just said, where it didn't look anything unusual or crazy. It was pretty basic stuff. So, you know, I immediately went to my phone. I missed the first play because I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
So
You expected to see Herbert on the side with like his head down and a towel over his head and like surrounded by 3 guys trying to find out like what the problem is. But no, he was just standing there watching. And yeah, you when you see Easton come in, you're like, okay, well, I think and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the time that the play happened, we were up 16-0. I think this was prior to the downhill, like us scrambling to try to get the game back. So maybe it was just an opportunity because, Tyrod was down. He's back. At least he's able to play, but you kind of want to know what your Easton stick, your third string, is able to do. And since we didn't have any pre-games, it's like, you know what, we're up by 16. Yeah, let him run a couple plays. Let's just, stretch his muscles, see if, get the jitters out. Cause like you said, he looked a little jittery. So maybe this was like those couple of plays to try to get him comfortable. Should the need arise? I don't know. Like it's again,
that's the thing. I don't think anybody knows.
Purely speculative.
I still can't figure out.
I don't even think the coaches know what they did. What happened?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Either way, it didn't really work. It
didn't work at all.
Yeah. So hopefully we don't see it again.
Grateful we have Justin Herbert type of a situation.
Exactly.
Okay. And then the next thing I want to look at was normally our collapse comes in the fourth quarter, second half, and teams come back on us and find a way to beat us at the end. That kind of like falter, not really doing much, happened 10 minutes into the 10 minutes left in the second quarter to about halfway through the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, what is going on? Like, why does this have to happen every game? And if we knew we could, the coaches knew they would fix it. Right. There's just what I believe is that football and sports in general, it's all about momentum, and momentum you can't put on a stat sheet. You can't look at it and just be like, oh yeah, this is how momentum works. Oh yeah, there was the peak and then there was the downfall. But if you watch a game all the way through, you see it in the way the players are playing. You see it in the way that plays are being made. And this isn't very X's and O's coachy, but just from being around the game, I've seen games get away from teams just solely based on momentum. And it can be one play that you really like put your foot on their neck and it's over. Like, this is our game. We have all the momentum. And it only takes a couple of plays to get that flipped. What I believe is when that flipped is we were up 16-0. We had just scored on that Parham touchdown. There was 10 minutes left in the second quarter. And now they're down 16-0. They're not holding any punches. There's no reason to be conservative. Gardner Minshew's already gotten sacked twice. He's getting beat up. Like, I'm just going to start taking chances now. And that's kind of the mindset. And that's rightfully so. If you're the guy down 16-0, you're not going to play it safe and run the ball. You're going to take some shots. So the first play after our touchdown, Minshew was able to connect with DJ Chark for a 26-yard gain. You guys remember that pass? He just ran straight across the field at like a 45-degree angle. Brayshawn was underneath. Nasir was over the top, and they dropped it right into him. And it was a big, big momentum play. Right. We had just scored and gone up two scores, almost 3 scores, being 16 points. And boom, right away, a 26-yard play. Mm-hmm. That's like, okay, we're not done. We're not giving up. Like, you punched us in the mouth, but here comes a punch back. And the issue, and I kind of want to break down the play for you guys, just so there's 2 plays that I'm going to look at. This one was that first down right after our touchdown. They were in a trips bunch set. So trips means there's 3 wide receivers to one side. Bunch means they line up really, really close to each other. There's usually one guy. It almost looks like a pyramid. There's a guy that's on the line of scrimmage, and then there's a guy behind him to his left and right. It's so that they can get off the line and they can't really get pressed. You can't come up and get in their face. They can get a release because if you try to press it, they're going to get away and then no one can get where they need to get. So they're in a trips bunch. So because they're in a 3 wide receivers to one side and 1 to the other, I talked about this on a previous episode. But sometimes when you see that, you get a little bit of a hybrid or split coverage. So to the 1 wide receiver side, we had man-to-man, and that was Casey Hayward was manned up on somebody on the backside. And then on the 3 wide receiver side, you're running some type of zone. So we were running almost a cover 3 on one side and a man-to-man on the backside. So what happens is DJ Chark just runs, he's the point guy, and he just runs straight across the field at 45 degrees. Rayshawn Jenkins was down in the box, and he was supposed to be what's called your hook to curl player. So he's supposed to have the zone, which think if you're playing Madden, the football game, you have those bubbles all over the field. He has the bubble that's right on the hash from about 20 yards and under, 15 yards and under. He has that bubble. So when he sees pass, and it was a play action, again, like I said, they're going to fake the run. So naturally, you have to come up a little bit. But then when you recognize pass, you got to get out. He got out a little bit too slow. DJ was able to run just behind him and just in front of Nasir, and Gardner put a good ball on. You could argue that Rayshon still is not extremely comfortable as a strong safety and didn't recognize it quick enough to get out. If he would have been a couple of steps quicker, he would have been there to make the pick. But in all reality, he wasn't in terrible position. It wasn't blown coverage. It was just a good pass and a good catch. And that's an example of us being in zone, which everyone hates. So a couple of plays later on that same drive, it's 3rd and 6, and that ended up being a 26-yard reception, which is that's a big play.
Right, that was probably the biggest play of the game.
Double what they had up to that point.
They had -6 yards passing up until then.
Yeah.
So that's a big momentum. We just scored. They come out and punch us in the face. So a couple plays later on that same drive, it's 3rd and 6. So third downs are big. You get a stop. We're going to keep this. They were almost just on the verge of field goal range. 3rd and 6, they run another trips bunch set. So same exact formation. So it's almost a mirrored play to what we just saw. So there's the bunch trips, the 3 wide receiver pyramid on one side and 1 wide receiver to the backside. This time we don't run zone. We run man to man. So it's cover 1. You have Nasir back deep. Everyone's man to man, and we blitz Kenneth Murray. So we are bringing pressure, 3rd and 6, trying to make him get the ball out quick, and we can tackle him before. Rayshon Jenkins is man-to-man on the number 3 receiver. So the number 1 receiver is the closest receiver to the sideline. The number 2 is the next one in, and the number 3 would be the next one in. Rayshon was man-to-man on the number 3. He kind of just ran right across his face. Again, Rayshon is a free safety. You don't play man-to-man coverage as a free safety. Not something he's extremely comfortable with. He runs right across his face, and it wasn't even terrible coverage. Gardner put a great ball, just barely beat Rayshon. And this is a play that he ran upfield. Rayshon got beat inside and misses the tackle. Nasir then missed the tackle. Casey Hayward then missed the tackle.
Yay.
And then finally, Rayshon was able to chase him back down and make the tackle. But that's another thing, guys. Just a general zone to man-to-man coverage. You don't have that swarming defense that you normally hear about. You hear about, that defense swarms to the ball. When you're in man-to-man, you can't swarm to the ball because your eyes are on your man. You don't even know when the ball's thrown. And you're in a zone. If someone catches the ball in the middle of between 2 zones, he's going to get swarmed by 3 guys, and he's not going to be able to pick up many extra yards. If you're in man-to-man, he catches the ball and that man doesn't make the tackle, it's going to be a while before somebody else gets there. So there's the potential for a lot more big plays with little tiny mishaps. You're a step slow. You miss the tackle by that much. There has a potential for a very big plays. And those were just, that drive was a huge momentum drive. They went down and scored. They got the 2-point conversion. It became us beating the dog crap out of them to being a 1-score game like that.
Right.
It was maybe a 3-minute drive that they had because it was really just those 2 big plays and then a run that they ran into the end zone for a touchdown. So it was just it's a momentum thing. A lot of these, if we could have gotten a 3 and out right there, boom, and stopped them, I'm confident they would have quit. They would have been like, all right, they're just kicking our butt. This is over. If we go up and score it again, it's 23-0. But no, it's 16-8. And that's a big momentum shift that then we got the ball back and went 3 and out and gave them the ball back right away again. So it was just a big momentum swing. And that's the only thing I can see and look at. Our strategy didn't change. Our play calling didn't change. It was just an execution and momentum. They felt like they were back in the game again.
All right.
I had one other weird thing that I looked at and saw on a couple of our big touchdowns. Was I think creativity in play calling that I wanted to just mention. On Virgil Green's touchdown, the one where he busted his ankle, I went back and watched it, and what I saw was Keenan Allen actually stayed in the box and was pass protecting for Justin. He was probably in somewhat of a wing slot position where he's not too far off the tackle. He didn't go out for a route. He just stayed in there and was helping in pass protection, which one you don't ever hear him complaining about, which the star wide receiver on your football team being willing to stay in pass protection on a passing down is pretty impressive. And the fact that they have faith in him to actually be successful in it. And it does a lot like that can throw off a lot of reads. A defense, if you see Keenan Allen in their blocking, you're going to think run. You're not going to think they're actually throwing the ball, but their best receiver staying in the block. So that was kind of cool, different creative little wrinkle to throw off some keys for the defense. And also Parham, he lined up as a fullback on the touchdown to Guyton, that 70-yard bomb touchdown. He wasn't lined up as a tight end. He was in there in the backfield, which again, you see that you're like, wait, what are they doing? What's going on? Why is a tight end lined up at fullback? He ended up staying in there, and it was for a pass protection. Maybe they needed more help on the interior. They didn't need him out on the outside. So they brought him back and into the backfield, and he just helped in pass pro. It's just cool little wrinkles that I saw as I was watching the game. It's like, that's creative. We like to crap on our coaches for being vanilla, but they are trying. They're trying to do the best they can with what they got out there.
There you go.
Awesome.
That's awesome, dude.
The more you know. I had no idea. That's so cool.
Right. Yeah. The typical, I think, couch coach is not seeing those little wrinkles like you're talking about, those moments where, the player isn't playing where they should be. We saw it in Hard Knock when the wide receiver coach McGagan was talking about like Keenan Allen blocks. That's why he's, the number one wide receiver right now, because he's not afraid to block. So, right. And when you see that happen in those types of plays, like that's killer. That's great. We need that kind of diversity to be able to throw these other teams off and get the offense rolling. So awesome, coach. Glad you're able to see those things, because I certainly don't, and I'm sure a lot of our fan base doesn't, because when we don't win, we just get angry. We want vengeance. We want blood.
I get angry too.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's back out of Coach's Corner. Let's hang a right down Fan Focus Street. Kev, what do you got for us today?
Oh, we got a good one. Let's just jump into it.
Okay.
What do you think?
Let me put my bathing suit on. I'll jump right in.
Hey. All right. Well, you guys are in for a treat today. We have very special guest. It is Rudy El Cargador. You're an awesome Charger fan. Most of you guys know from the games, from just being in the inner circle. So we're just really excited to have him. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. All right, cool. When we do these, we like to get started with asking, when did you become a Charger fan?
Late 70s, 78, 79. Started watching them here in Chicago. As a kid, fell in love with the jersey and been addicted ever since.
That's awesome. So you're from Chicago?
Born and raised, sir.
Awesome, man. I see you all the time on the media and stuff of you being at games. So you travel for a lot of the home games in LA and San Diego?
You know what? I had season tickets this year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to attend. So that was the first time I've ever had season tickets. And, we had this whole fiasco happen. But typically I would go, I would buy tickets from, buddies or whatever and sit, as close to the field as possible. Attended quite a few games at the Q and quite a few games at the StubHub Center as well. But yeah, I like to travel. Every game for me is an away game, and there was one season, I think I did 11 games out of the season, right around 11 games. So.
11. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a good year. That was a good year to travel.
It's so crazy what happened this year. And, we were we had tickets for the Falcons game, and we were really ready to go check out that new stadium. So it must've been hard for you getting your first year of season tickets and being ready to rock.
Yeah, it was rough. I was so looking forward to it from the beginning, way before the beginning of the season. And then we got hit with this curveball. I mean, it looks like a gorgeous stadium. I was actually able to ride by it over the summer. I took my motorcycle on some crazy 7-week ride. Ooh. And I got pictures in front of the stadium. But, I kind of knew we weren't going to be able to attend anyway.
Yeah, well, next year it'll make it like the excitement for next year is going to be even higher. So that's a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you have this kind of an amazing foundation that you had mentioned to me before we got started, and it's the Bolt Up Against Bullying. So tell us a little bit about that and what you've been doing for people.
I basically, it started because, as a kid in school, I was that scrawny little kid, always got picked on. I got the ears flicked, I got poked in the chest, what little there was of it. So that was always left a really negative, mindset for me. But what did it was when I took my daughter to a game in Cleveland, and she was probably 10, 11 years old at the time, and fully dressed in Chargers gear. We're both dressed in Chargers gear. As we're walking through the stadium, these grown drunk men are screaming at us and cussing at us, not realizing that this little girl with me. So that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth as far as that bullying type of aspect. And then as soon as I got involved with Bolt Pride, they seem to have causes. They seem to have causes for this and a cause for this, and they support all different types of causes. And the one that struck a nerve with me was the bullying. Not a big fan of it. So what I do is I give out stickers, patches. On my trip that I took this past summer, I took a handful of patches and stickers and handed them out to kids. And I just basically, any kid that I met, I would give them the whole little spiel of, hey, look, bullying comes in all forms. So I try to promote it in a way where people or mostly kids are more aware of how important it is to not be a bully and to stick up for your friends who might be being bullied. And again, I just try to spread the word. So any birthday letters that I send out, anything that I send out has something to do with anti-bullying as well.
That's awesome. It's so important. We had something similar to that happen. We went to the Chiefs game 4 or 5 years ago. Same thing, just people just being real jerks, and having somebody stand up and, raise awareness for that is really important. So thank you for doing that.
Of course, that's my pleasure, man.
So tell us a little bit about, your excitement for the season. I know we've had a little bit of craziness to start the season, and, we finally got rolling. We finally got a W this Sunday. I'm so pumped. So tell us a little bit about your excitement for the team right now.
I was sad to see Rivers go. I'm not a fan of two teams. I have one team loyalty. So whenever a player leaves of whichever, player it may be, I kind of disconnect from them as a player because, they're just the opposing team now. Love Rivers to death. I thought he was so great for San Diego and for LA. But when Herbert got put in and the last 4 weeks of his performance have been amazing, it gives the Chargers fans new hope. I always reference back to another team that I won't mention, who in the tenure of Phillip Rivers' stay with the Chargers, they must have gone through 12 quarterbacks. So to be blessed enough to have a Herbert on our side right now is exciting, because you never know what happens when you lose someone like Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Your question, and the quarterback in any team is the key position. Usually it's the key position. So I'm excited at what Herbert's going to do. I'm excited to see what we're going to be like with a fully healthy team, because right now we're on crutches and we're playing pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to finishing off the season strong. I think that this win they needed to get that off their shoulders. They needed Herbert needed to get it off, and he deserved the last 3. I think this is going to be huge for the Chargers, because now it's going to give them a little momentum and play a little more confidence.
And you saw it in those earlier games too. Like our rookie was in it with these veterans, with these teams that are supposed to be doing well this season, playoff caliber teams. So the fact that I think that even though we lost those games, they were so close and we fought them so hard. Once the team gets a rhythm and gets going and starts winning, if we do face them again, it won't be that big of a deal for him, which is kind of cool.
I think that the fact that his personality is one that's very humble, very quiet. He isn't a bragger type. You could tell that he's going to be very focused on what he does. Kind of like a Brady. Brady, I think if you go back and watch the earlier stuff, he wasn't a boaster. He was more focused on what he was supposed to be doing. And I think in Brady's case, the boasting began after he started winning, which is, they go hand in hand kind of. But he was still never somebody that like Terrell Owens, not like that. I think the fact that Herbert has that mentality and that mindset and that personality, it's going to be huge for the Chargers.
Absolutely. And, getting hopefully Balaga and Trey Turner back, like there was some stat where he was just insane when he had a clean pocket. Like he was just unstoppable. So this guy, there's still a lot of potential to be reached, which is exciting for him.
Absolutely. Agreed.
So, all right, cool. Well, what we like to do at the end of these is try and get like your prediction, what you think's going to happen against these donkeys coming up on Sunday. So what do you think? What do you think how the game's going to go?
I think they're going to play them well. I'm going to be at that game. So
Are you going?
Flying out. Yeah, I'm going. I'm going to Dane. I'm flying out Friday. Meeting up with a bunch of Charger fans, and so we're one of the few that are going to be there.
Awesome. Well, can we, if possible, check in with you on Sunday night if we win? I would love to hear what it's like out there. That'd be so much fun.
Oh, absolutely. I've never been to that stadium, so I'm that when I get to check off my list. I wish it would have been a full blown, game, but 5,700 people, I'll take it. A little more intimate.
You can stretch out a little bit. Stretch out a little bit.
Exactly,
take up a couple seats.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. But I'm excited. I'm meeting up with a bunch of people that I know, some new people that I haven't met yet. We're trying to organize a meet and greet for the night before the game, which we should be able to do some type of meet and greet. But also we're trying to be careful with COVID and practice our safety, which is a priority. And as someone who has an influence to a point, we practice what we preach. So we're going to be as safe as we possibly can. But it should be fun. I think we're going to come out with a W. They didn't look that good against the Chiefs in their own hometown. And I think that we're a much, much better team than the Donkeys. I believe that we're in every way. Our quarterback is 10 times better. Our defense is better. We just gotta get the boys behind the microphones or adjusting at halftime to adjust a little better. But I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to pull out a W again.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for going and representing us, and let's get them. Go Chargers.
Yeah, I go Chargers, go Bolts, Bolt Pride. Let's get this W and come back with another smile on my face on Monday morning on that airplane coming home.
Awesome. Thanks, Rudy. We appreciate your time, man.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Rudy.
When he said that he was going to the game, I was like, "Oh man, I'm so voice. Jealous! It's so awesome!" Like what? Yeah, so he's awesome. What he's doing with the anti-bullying stuff is so great. And,
yeah, that's great.
He's just a good guy, and I'm looking forward to meeting him when we can get to Thunder Alley or anything like that. So thanks again, Rudy, for coming on.
That's
man.
pretty
Appreciate
crazy
it.
to born and raised Chicago, not being a Bears fan. That's like a pretty dominant fan base.
That's true.
Yeah, and he been traveling to Charger games forever.
Yeah, I've never been to 11 games, and I've lived in San Diego my whole life.
That's just how much Rudy stands against the face of adversity. He's the shining bolt.
Nice.
He's
Wooly.
the shining
that
bolt.
Was good.
Love it. Thank you, Rudy. Really appreciate it, man.
Rudy.
Those were some great words, man. It just makes you feel warm and fuzzy to be a Charger fan. We turn now to Twitter because you guys are continuing to be vocal little peanut gallery fans. I love it.
We appreciate it, man. That's nice to hear from everybody.
When we started this podcast, there was you could drop a pin and you could hear it, but now I'm hearing a little bit of a murmur.
I got a halftime question via Twitter. It was fun. Wow. It was exciting.
Yeah. Keep them coming. It's awesome. So we appreciate all the engagement, and we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. So we had two guys reach out, send us a little audio clip. So when we asked for this, these Ask Twitter questions, if you do want to record yourself and send in your voice recording, we can get you on there just as easy as reading your tweet. So let's kick it off. We're going to shoot it out to Brian Paula. What do you got for us, Brian?
Paula.
Hey guys, Brian here. Just letting you guys know, love the chat. Love everything you guys do. Keep us positive. Keep us laughing, man, and bolting up, man. Anyway, great to see that Herbert got his first win. Another career day. Glad to see that. But my whole issue is the defense. Do you think that the defensive side, coaching-wise, are on the hot seat? From the secondary to Bradley or even Coach Lynn? It could have been close to a loss as well, like just the other one, but I'm glad that the offense kept on grinding, kept on going, kept on scoring. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Okay, love you, bye.
I love it.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay,
love it. Thanks for reaching out, man. He reached out to us a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately I didn't get it in time and we couldn't get it on the air. So thanks for reaching out again, Brian. We appreciate it.
Question still stands.
Kyle, let's throw it to you. Go. You know more about this defense.
You say the words,
Kyle. Coach.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't think they're on the hot seat. You kind of been throwing a lot of crap to deal with. first and foremost, Derwin James going down before the season starts, that wrecks a whole scheme. That wrecks all your play calling. It significantly adjusts everything that you're doing. I don't think they're doing that. The coaching wise is doing that bad of a job. From the film that I've looked at, it's a lot of it's just execution. Like you can't. And yes, you can add different elements to try to help. I heard a little sound clip that like Gus thinks that some of the decrease in production is because he's put too much in. Is that some of the players are not picking it up. So I don't know. Unfortunately, we just don't know. I think if you have a losing season, somebody's on the hot seat. We know that about the NFL. But I don't know, man. I don't have an issue with the Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator like that. I don't think that's the issue. It's potentially a personnel thing, and you may have to move on from somebody that we don't know is having a lot of struggles. Or just getting healthy and getting back to doing what we need to do. And like I said earlier in my little segment, I think it's just big plays that are momentum plays that need to adjust, and that not necessarily is coaching.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if we lost big plays or big games, like if we were just getting our asses handed to us every single game, like consecutively getting blown out, that's one thing. We're losing by one score. We're winning by two. Like, they're so close. Like, it's not just a total blown position. It's not a coach blowing it. It's not necessarily a player that's blowing every single game. We're just having these little itty bitty mistakes that add
out
up.
of sync.
And we're just out of sync. So I don't think anybody's in the hot seat. It still doesn't feel quite right.
Defense gave up 22 points this week. Special teams gave up 7. So 39-22. We're all thinking that's a pretty comfortable, great performance.
Right. I think if anything, you talk about our special teams coach. I don't know. I think if anyone on the hot seat right now, it'd probably be him after that performance, but it's still too early. Like, I don't like talking about hot seats after we win a game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we can talk about that when we lose. Like, right now, we won that game, and let's just be positive about it. And let's see if we can get another win and another win and another win. All of this will just kind of settle. And then we'll, But I think it's a good question, and thanks for reaching out, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
It is, and that's a big conversation around the fan base right now.
It's a hot topic right now.
All right. And next, you know him. You'll love him. It's Craig from Texas.
Chargers check, compadres. We got one. Got a dub. Feels good. Feels like a really long time since it's happened. But it wasn't pretty, but I'm not going to nitpick. I know. I'm going to keep it tempered. A win is a win. We got a monster in Herbert, guys. It feels amazing. Coming off of the love that we all had for Phil and all that adulation, and seeing him go, having that be so difficult, but also knowing it was time and then rolling into this freak of nature. Yeah, feels really good. But won't take up much of your time. Happy to be able to celebrate for a week. Bolt Nation can kick their feet up with the W for a few days. We can analyze all the bad and look at where the team can be tweaked to be better moving forward. But it feels a whole lot better with the win in the pocket. Till next time, guys. Bolt Ganger don't bang, bolt up. Later on.
I don't know how to answer that question, Craig.
I love that. That was great, Craig.
I love it. Just statement. Just come on, baby. Just tell us how you're feeling.
Shamelessly positive. We won and we're happy.
It's infectious. It's good.
Yes.
I love it. And honestly, if you're not following Craig, was it Top Flight 3 on Twitter, you should. Because he gets in some with a Y. He gets in some hilarious Twitter battles with people, and I have him as an alert for our account just so I can see it because it's really funny and it makes my day. So thanks for reaching out and supporting us, Craig.
Yeah, appreciate you checking in. All right. Well, let's take a look now as we've got the non-audio driven reaches out on
for
Twitter.
all you typers out there.
All you tippy typers. We've got Mike Nava reaching out going, do you think Chargers defense will be able to stop Melvin Gordon and make him look like a fool? Maybe even fumble? Or will he carve up our run defense a bit?
I I can only hope for something, and I've
Like a
never
pirate.
wanted anything quite so bad in my entire life. I want him to have 3 fumbles and be a walk off the field in complete and utter shame. That's what I'm looking for this week.
Hey, stop trying to steal my gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Pirate Kev. It was you want to
He's not gonna run very well.
you want to feel like we're just gonna just run all over Melvin Gordon, but at the same time, we're Charger fans. We got to temper our expectations a little bit.
Front. Linval Joseph is going to stop him, and it's going to happen because Lindsey's out. It's only Gordon. They don't have anyone else back there. We know that Gordon's a good running back, but he's not the best. He's not the quickest. He's not the most elusive. So we just need to swarm him. And Drew Lock is forgive me, but Drew Lock is a shitty quarterback. I watched him. I'm in Columbia, Missouri. Mizzou. He went to Mizzou. I went to a few of these games and watched him play, and he sucks. I'm just going to say it. Everything that I've watched, he sucked. So I'm hoping when I watch Drew Lock games, he sucks. And if that's the case and it's ongoing, he will suck this week. So that way, Melvin Gordon will have to run the ball, and we will just clamp him.
Yeah, that being said, you know that as much as we want to stop him, he wants to have a great game against us.
Of course.
So he's going to be running with a little bit of extra oomph. I hope he does his normal, not running with two hands on the ball type thing.
Wouldn't it be great if he fumbled for us on the goal line? Wouldn't he just give us one back?
That would
just give it back
on the 1 yard line too, in a very key, crucial moment.
You owe us. Just pay us back for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. In all honesty, I don't think that they're going to be able to run the ball successfully because I think that we're going to make Drew Lock beat us.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I think. I think when you look at this team, you have to say Drew Lock, good luck. Like, come beat us.
Drew Lock, good luck.
I think we'll come shut down the run and say good luck, man.
Yeah. And I don't think I've seen him play under pressure and have to do that stuff, and I'm not impressed. And you can, as a Bronco fan, you can say he's the greatest thing. Dude, I watched him in college a lot, and I'm not impressed.
Yeah. Well, looking at his last game, he only threw for 254 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Bring it, Drew.
Sounds good to me.
We can
I'll
handle that. We handle that.
But speaking of Gordon, I hope he has the worst game of his career.
Right. Yeah. With
K love you bye.
K love you bye.
K love you bye.
All right, now let's look at G Balls on Twitter. He says, "How serious is our
That's a good enunciation?
That is a good name. This is GBAWLS.
It's BAWS, so you got to say G Balls. You got to say it. How serious is our kicker problem? Badgley has had a couple bad games, but I think we should be patient with him considering how Lambo and Koo panned out. Boy, that is from a guy named G Balls. That's a very mature, insightful.
Very insightful.
No, I couldn't agree with this more. I think you just have to, as much as I am unhappy with him right now, I think you just need to settle down and hold on to him.
He's just got to find his
we're
mojo.
We're gonna play horse, guys. We're gonna play horse. He's at BADG right
how
now.
Badgley got his groove back. That's what this season is all about.
How Badgley got his name back.
All right, now let's look at Super Bolts. You know what? His name says Super Bolts 34, but his tag is Super Bolts 28. What are you doing to me, Super Bolts? You just pick a number, all right? You got 2. Pick one. Lynn was asked a few weeks back if he likes Justin. He answered that they picked him at 6 for a reason. Yesterday, he could have given him the game ball, but he opted not to. Question is Lynn's ego getting in the way of Chargers making a big jump in games?
This is an interesting question.
Or is he trying to groom him to become the heir of the future and not
be
just
a hard ass
hype up his
quarterback?
ego?
Is Super Bolts Dan Popper? Dan Popper, Daniel, you got more than one Twitter handle? That feels like such a loaded question. Like, I don't know. Who do we even know who Lynn gave the game ball to?
No, he didn't give a game ball out. I don't think it was.
Well, there you go. So that's him making a statement of like, listen, we gotta have some positive wins. We got to be on the right side of this winning record. We can't be 2-4 acting like we just won the World Series. Like, we got to get back to work and we still got to keep this going.
All accounts so far, he's just tough loving.
Yeah.
That's what he's getting. That's what he thinks he needs, and that's what he's doing.
To the public, I think in one-on-one conversations, it sounds like he's having with him to build his confidence.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
But he's not going to come out and hype up the hype train and put all this added pressure on the kid.
Absolutely.
I think It's a good question though. The fact that game ball was brought up and he decided not to give one out. Like I don't know if he was ever been a big game ball guy, and it's never really been on my radar, so it's hard to say.
Kind of like how Kyle mentioned earlier, he's not handing out participation trophies. He's the kind of coach that's like, we just want to win games. Like there's no glitter or glamour to these situations. Like we got to win games. And you know what I think about you. You don't need me to give you a ball to make you know how I feel about you.
A G balls.
G balls.
But honestly, dude, does he have any room in his house after all the Pepsi he's received for being the rookie for the Pepsi?
Right,
like, I don't
no
think
room
there's
for
room
game
for a
balls.
ball in his place.
Yeah.
He's probably still in an apartment. He hasn't gone house shopping.
He might
yet.
have diabetes. We need to check on.
We need to keep an eye. If he starts
Herbert's
getting a little
blood sugar.
chubbier, we're gonna
Blood
know
sugar
that
needs to be
Pepsi
checked.
offensive player of the week
COVID
3 weeks running.
up the nose and then blood sugar.
Yeah, blood sugar stat, bro. But yeah, I think it's a good question. It's interesting
Excellent question
to see how Lynn does this moving forward.
Excellent tidbit. I didn't even know that. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. Let's look at Mr. Ghost at Ghost _ is the next one we have here. He's got a kind of a two-parter. How much worse does the special team play have to get before GS gets replaced? GS being George Stewart, special teams coordinator. And part 2, why can't Ty Long get any hang time on kicks? By the way, I know George Stewart and Lynn are good friends, and Lynn gave George Stewart a job when no one would coaching a position he hadn't coached in decades till now. So, I mean, how come Ty Long can't get any hang time on his kicks? Kyle, what's he doing wrong?
Because he doesn't have the leg. I don't know.
He's kicking it out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that's the thing is he's just trying to kick it through the back of the end zone. Hang time is if you're trying to punt, you're trying to kick it to the 1 and hope they try to return it.
Mm-hmm.
He might miss it sometimes and it comes short and they get a little return. But man, I was talking about it with Dave, with my dad this weekend when we were watching the game. It's like, why would you ever return a kick? Why would you not just take the ball at the 25? No penalties, no risk of fumble. Why would every team not just fair catch it and take it at the 25? So to answer your question, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't put hang time on the ball. Maybe because he's a punter. And it's the only NFL team that does it.
I have an idea. I think the Oculus scoreboard is too distracting and scary, and he doesn't want to hit it. So he's trying to keep him
they might
low.
take that out of his
also,
paycheck.
And that's a dumb answer, by the way. That's not a real answer. This is also true. He's probably going to have a shit ton of hang time this weekend in Denver.
That's right.
Just
Watch out for that hang time.
He's going to be breaking records. But the main part of his question, how much worse does the special team have to play before GS gets replaced? I don't know. It's if anybody's on the hot seat right now, it's got to be Jordan.
I think he is on the hot seat for sure. I think he's on the hot seat. But we have a lot of football to play still. I don't think he's going to. That's not going to be a mid-season fire.
No.
Well, and I saw somebody posted a stat where the last 3 years since we've had Stewart, we've ranked no higher than 27th on special teams. So that's not a great thing. So if we want a hot seat, if we want to post-win, start hot seating people, I guess you could throw a hot seat at our 70-year-old coach if you want to, but I don't want to yet.
You leave my 70-year-old coach alone.
Leave my grandpa alone.
Leave Grandpa Stewart alone.
But yeah, something needs to be fixed on that. It's not going well.
Agreed. All right. Tyler Foffey making a return appearance, asking the question. Ingram was asked about this win being a turning point, and he said it's not a turning point. They expect to win games and will start to stack them. Where do you guys see the team has the biggest room for improvement in all 3 phases of the game? Tackling appeared to be a big issue.
Yeah, tackling was an issue. I think the biggest aspect is big plays, momentum changing, like game changing plays. When you have the opportunity to put the game away, you need to put the game away. I don't think it's offense, defense. Special teams can get better, obviously, but I think overall, it's just you need a guy that's going to make that game-ending play early on that can change the momentum and keep the momentum for the game.
And that's hard. Stomper, if you will.
What's that?
The throat stomper, if you will. Can we call it that from now on?
We need a throat stomper.
We need to throat stomp these fools.
Yeah.
I agree. The only thing I could see right now improving for me is the biggest thing for me that can improve because we've seen it be better is the kicking. We've left so many points on the field these last 2 weeks I almost did because he left 4 points on the field again this week, and I almost did my Sesame Street again. It's got to change.
I mean, for me, the biggest room for improvement is that line. That offensive line needs to get better, has to get better. We need Balaga back. We need Trey Turner in there. Shit, I'll even take Storm Norton at this point just to try to help these guys play better. We got to. I would like to see us invest some money and some talent on that line from any possible end of the, trade deadline, which I know is fastly approaching. I'd like to see us pick a guy up. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. But that, to me, outside of tackling, which is a huge issue, and special teams, which is a huge issue, I'd say offensive line has got to get better. And lastly, summing it up for us, Simon Shum. Shum. Simon Shum. A question for the coach. We nearly squandered another lead yesterday, and there was obviously a lot of talks about some possible play calling changes to avoid the blown leads over the last few weeks. What specific changes do you think the team should adopt from here on out? I don't know, Simon. I'm assuming that's just how he talks. That's the voice that I pictured for Simon. So, Coach,
I like
what
it.
do you think? What specific changes do you think the team should adopt from here on out?
If I knew I'd be a coach in the NFL, I honestly have no idea. I don't know what that you can pinpoint that this is what's going wrong. I just think we need to be more clutch, like if that's a thing. And I think if that was something that could be traced, it'd be a lot harder to win. I mean, you'd win every football game.
You'd have the best coach ever, yeah.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. Like, I don't think that we're getting outplayed. I don't think that our roster isn't good enough. I don't think our coaches aren't good enough. There's just like certain plays that you have to make, and we're just not making them the last 4 weeks. That it seems like we turned it around a little bit and we came up clutch there at the end when we needed to.
Yeah, I feel like after hearing your coach's corner about those little special wrinkles that you saw on offense, the question just kind of popped in my head. Us doing that in a game like we just had against Jacksonville, do you feel like we've kind of shown our hand a little bit, where if we try to run those plays in the future, the other team's going to know what's going on? Or do you feel like we still got some magic in our back pocket?
Yeah, I think you add those in as wrinkles. Those aren't your go-to all the time. Because if you see Keenan Allen in the backfield blocking, you're not going to go, oh, they're throwing it.
Right.
Ever. You're never going to think that. So they're just little wrinkles to throw off tendencies. And after a bye week, all the coaches do is they diagnose themselves. They go and basically watch all their own film and say, hey, this is when you do this is going to come, the tendencies, and they try to change them. So that's why you saw some wrinkles, because maybe we were getting a little bit just predictable.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. I think that would be a specific change I'd like to see us adopt, is to stop being so dang predictable and give us those sweet little juicy wrinkles we love so much.
Start stomping on some throats.
Give me some throats. I've got some stomping to do. Speaking of stomping on throats, our next game, folks, Denver Broncos, who are also 2-4. Their wins were against the Jets and the Patriots. Nothing to sneeze at, folks. Nothing to sneeze at. So losses to the Titans, Steelers, Bucks, and the Chiefs.
That's pretty lethal 4 games that they lost right there. Those are some good teams.
Man,
so.
the AFC West has a rough schedule this year.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, the good thing that I saw that's fun is they're 0-3 at Mile High this year. So you can look at that. I don't know if that really says anything. It was a snow game last week against the Chiefs, and they just played like crap. From the highlights I saw, there's some hidden gems in there that I missed, but I didn't.
You're
watch
not a
the whole
Denver
game.
fan, so you're not going to go looking.
Not
for
a Denver fan. Drew Lock is just like I said, mediocre. Really, he was hurt a couple weeks, and then it's just not that impressive. That's all I got from Drew Lock.
Yeah, and looking at it, they've got recently they just had an article come out on the Broncos Wire. 3 Bronco players injured versus the Chief. One of them being Philip Lindsay is in concussion protocol. So we might see Melvin Gordon running the ball more than anybody else. And then they also had some defensive guys go down. Defensive lineman Mike Purcell and outside linebacker Derek Tuska. Derek Tuska. Throw up in my mouth a little bit there, trying to pronounce that name.
I got a question. What happened to this DUI thing? Like, I want to play Gordon so he can fumble to us, but what happened to that? Why is he still playing? I don't get it.
It's probably going to be a situation that happens with some players where like they do a bad thing and then they don't necessarily get penalized for it until the off season or until next season. So
that's just bizarre.
I don't know. It feels like favoritism. It feels like maybe they're just like, look, there's COVID going on right now, and we're not going to slap a hand because of a deal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me either. I just don't know. All right. Well, now that we're out of that mess, let's land this sucker and go right into our bolt prediction for Chargers playing against Denver Broncos in Denver, Week 8. Kyle, what do you think?
All right, I got AFC West games are always close, no matter what, no matter how much better you are than a team. I got 27-24 W for the Bolts. And my bolt prediction is Justin Jackson outrushes Melvin Gordon.
Ooh,
I like that.
I like that, but that's a close score, dude. Really? You think we're only going to win by a field goal against Drew Lock and Melvin Gordon?
A one-score game? Is that really out of our
I'm not saying
playbook?
it isn't. I'm not saying it isn't.
I don't know. Anytime we play an AFC West opponent, it's always a one-score game, no matter what.
I feel you. All right. What are you thinking, Mr. Huggin?
All right, I think I'm going to go win, obviously, 24-13 Chargers, and I think Badgley gets his name back. He's going to get the we're not getting money. He's just going to Badgley will earn his last name back.
Okay. So that's like
he's
what?
Going to have four clean kicks.
Ooh.
He's going to have 4 kicks.
4 kicks,
so
0 misses.
3 extra points, 1 field goal. And that is
Does that math check out?
Yeah, 24-13. 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal. That's how you get to 24, coach.
I was just checking you.
Do you need me to read you other words on the thing, coach? 24.
Oh dear. I'm trying to. I can't think with all these
Coach.
Wisconsins in here right now.
Sorry.
I want to see just a big fat win. You know, I feel like we could have gotten that against Jacksonville. I feel like you're right that the momentum just kind of shifted. And even though this is a home game for these guys, they haven't won one yet at home. I feel like that trend is going to continue. That momentum will continue. So I'm saying 28-10. And my bolt prediction, I'm going to say Donald Parham Jr. gets himself another touchdown, bringing his stats 3 attempts, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns.
So he's only
going to catch one pass,
right.
and it's going to be a touchdown. That's
if this happens, this will be better than mine from last year.
Yeah,
that's what I
feel.
For
sure.
All right, folks. That's about as shamelessly positive as we can get right now. We're going to wrap it up here at Charger Chat. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for everybody that reached out on Twitter. Thanks to Rudy for the fan focus. Thanks to my 2 co-hosts, Kyle and Kev, Coach and Huggin. Don't forget, folks, to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you, bye. Yeah.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, gang! Looking for a good place to get yourself some grub? Then you need to visit Moons Over Parhammy. Moons Over Parhammy gives you all the hammy dishes you could ask for with over 49 different ham varieties. Like parham and eggs, parham and cheese sandwich, and of course the signature dish, Moons Over Parhammy. So come on down to Moons Over Parhammy and fill those bellies up today.